Okay, we're going to work on Module 3, Case Problem 1. Module 3, Case Problem 1. The page number is EX3-54. EX3-54. Okay, I'm looking at step 3. Step 3. So here's what we have in this problem. This company is actually making a semiconductor wafers. What believe wafer is very tiny, very thin material to go into semiconductor, so that the measurement in terms of micron must be very precise. Okay, so that what we're trying to do is trying to see the thickness of these wafers are within the range. So that's basically what we're trying to find out in this case problem. Okay, so case problem 1, 3, step number 3. Right. Column A in control data worksheets. So we're going to enter the batch number, starting with batch 1, batch 2, all the way to 50 some batches. So rather than typing in all the way, why don't we just autofill all the way down. Right? And also B5 through BK. We'll enter text saying wafers waffer -1. Then again autofill across. So it'll show waffer 1 through waffer 10. Okay, step number 3. Step number 4. We're going to use some statistical functions called cell number M6 and M6. We're going to use count function. Count of what items? B6, K6. Basically batch 1 products. Okay. N6, the range. We're going to calculate the difference between max and min, so that we'll find the range of wafer size. Okay, so equals max of across this batch 1 minus minimum of the same range. So it will give us the difference between max and min. So that will take as a range. In this example, 15. And 06, which is average, just typically that's what we do using average function. Average of those 10 wafers. All right. Since we have the first row for batch 1, so why don't we just autofill to the rest of the columns, which is M and O. There you go. That's step 5. We want to do more statistical calculation starting with, this time we're going to move to V batch average. Okay, V batch average, meaning that we're going to find average of those range in column O. Okay, so basically we're going to use average column O and average for column N, which is average batch range. Right? That's for all, that's for N actually. Is that right? Yeah, I should change to N. Step number 6. Step number 6. Now we're going to work on LCL. LCL is defined as lower limit, lower control limit, and the calculation is given. So we don't have to worry about what formula we're going to use. It's all there. Upper control limit. So it is given already. Lower control limit, upper control limit. So all we have to just apply it. Okay. So W10, step number 6, W10, what it's saying is V5 minus V10 times V6. Okay, that's what it says. So V5, which is batch average, minus V10, which is its own limit, times V6, which is batch average or batch range. So lower limit is 598, and let's see the upper limit. Upper limit, what it's saying is V5 batch average minus V10 again. Is it minus? I think it was plus actually this time. Plus, I'm sorry. And V10 times V6. However, this V5 and V6, those two values must be fixed. Okay, this column VA2 values must be changed as you move, as you copy, but these two numbers, okay, V5, V6 must not change. So we have to use absolute cell reference. For example, V5 must have an absolute cell reference. Also, V6. So V5, V6 must have absolute cell reference, which is $sign. Same thing here, V5 and V6. And then we're going to want to fill to the rest of the column. That's our lower limit. Upper limit, there you go. Okay, so that was step number 6. Step number 7. P6. So now we're going to go back to this summary and we're going to work on the rest of column P, P through S. Okay. At this time, we're going to see VLOOKUP function. We're going to use a VLOOKUP function for sample size, which is 10. Here's the idea. Okay. Now, batch 1 machine produce sample size range average just like that. And we try to see this batch 1 is within this limit. Okay. So that will return the corresponding lower limit, upper limit based on the sample size. For example, sample size, batch 1 sample size is 10, and sample size 10, as you can see in this area, lower limit 620, upper limit 629. Okay, that's what we're going to return on this summary. Okay, so by using VLOOKUP, using sample size, which is M6, gamma, then the lookup range, what we have is U9 through X. X33, right? X33. Okay. So that's our lookup range. Column number, the value we try to return will be column 1, 2, 3 position, right? In terms of column position, we have 4 different columns, but LCL is located in column number 3 within this lookup table. So we're going to type 3, which is position of the LCL, comma, then we're going to enter false, which is the syntax we must use at the end of VLOOKUP, either false or true, but in this example, we need to use false. And again, we need to carefully enter $ to the range, lookup range, because the range must not change as we copy to other cells. So that was our LCL using VLOOKUP. UCL, I'm looking at step 8 right now. UCL is the same logic. Only difference is this time we're going to return this value, okay, which is UCL in lookup range. So you can just type it in, or I can just copy and just change appropriate numbers or cell reference. M6 that was U9, right? 9 through X33, and the column position must be 4 this time. Why? Because UCL is located in column number 4 in this lookup table. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So that's why we have 4. And at the end of VLOOKUP, we enter false as a syntax. I don't know why I have it U10, must be U9. Because this position is U9. Oh, which doesn't make any big difference. Okay, so we have that. We look up for column P and column Q. That's just an autofill these two all the way down. There you go. And now column R. That's step number 9. This is a little different. Now, step 9, what it's saying is we need to compare O values in column O and P. Okay, these two numbers. Okay, we're going to compare. And if P is larger than O, meaning that this lower limit is larger. Let's read it again. Is that what it's saying? O6 less than P6. Okay, so O6 is less than P6, meaning that, same thing, P6 is larger than O6. So we're going to use the if function there. F O6 is less than P6, then what's going to happen? It's going to say out of control. Otherwise, we'll show it as in control, meaning that now within the range. Notice that we have double quotes for out of range and in control, out of control and in control. Okay. Anytime you enter text, words, and example like this function, you need to have a double quotes. But for numbers, you don't have to give a double quotes. So that's the difference. And upper limit, let's move to next page. This time, if O6 is greater than Q6, let's test it. If O6 is my equals O6 is greater than Q6, then what we're going to say? Out of control. Otherwise, we will say just in control. Okay, first example, O6 is less than P6, which is not true, so it returns in control. And for S6, Q6, O6 is greater than Q6. Again, it's not true, so it returns in control. All right. We don't have to worry about absolute cell reference this time because we're going to allow to change O6 to O7, O8 as we copy all the way down. So why don't we just autofill all the way down? So as you can see, some item has out of control, which is not within range. So how many? 1, out of control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times. All right. So I think that's it for calculation, but on step 11, saying that we need to add conditional formatting. I think at this point you know how to do this. So I'm going to skip step number 11. Step number 12 is just something to do with conclusion. Okay. So out of 50 machines, so how many machines are not in control? Meaning that which machine is making not within the control limits. So identify that like machine 9 here, so you can see machine 9 looks like a lower limit out of control, meaning that it's too thin, right? Because that's indicating lower limit. Same thing here. This machine 35 is out of control, meaning their lower limit is too low. Okay. In other words, upper limit, like machine 2, out of control, meaning that making too thick wafer. Same thing here. 27 making too thick wafer. Why? Because again, upper limit is out of control. And again, machine number 50 is making wafers too thick. Right, so that's how you're going to conclude. If you have any questions, let me know.